Welcome back to the Deep Dive AI Brief, episode 292. We're here to really distill the tech and science news that matters most. We focus on the breakthroughs in access, distribution, and scale, making sure you walk away informed fast.
And the theme today really is this powerful democratization. We're seeing tech that was just inaccessible, suddenly becoming available, massive scale, but sometimes on incredibly small footprints. It's quite the contrast.
Yeah, it really is. We've got a fascinating lineup for you. We'll dive deep into, let's see, four key areas. First, Ant Group's huge trillion parameter model, Ling-1T. It's shaking things up in code and math.
Then there's this breakthrough making complex quantum simulations possible on, well, just a regular laptop.
Wild. And third, Perplexity's new AI native browser, Comet. We'll unpack what that signals for, the future of how we use the internet.
And finally, our rapid-fire look at everything else, including a surprising Comet discovery and a new rainbow chip.
Okay, let's get into it. Starting with this parameter race, Ant Group. Yeah, the Alipay folks launching Ling-1T, a
Sure.
trillion parameters.
Exactly. And what's crucial here isn't just the sheer size, it's how specific the training is.
That's the key, right? It's not just another generalist model. Ling-1T is really optimized for these high-value areas. Complex math, logical reasoning, code generation for software development.
Right, the areas where you really need that precision. And the performance claims seem to back that up. They're saying it outperforms major rivals like OpenAI and DeepSeek models on key coding and math benchmark.
Any specifics on that performance?
Well, they achieved 70.42% accuracy on the ME benchmark. That's the American Invitational Mathematics exam. It requires some pretty serious multi-step reasoning. Performing at that level, well, it's a strong signal. Rivals Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro in that area.
Okay, but here's the bit that makes you pause. They claim high reasoning efficiency without the proportional compute cost increase you'd expect for a model this enormous.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yep.
Usually the trade-off involves latency or memory demands. It seems Ant Group's architecture might have found ways around the typical bottlenecks in these massive, sparse models, perhaps in retrieval or routing.
Interesting. Whatever the mechanics, the strategic impact feels huge. This definitely strengthens China's position in those high-value coding and financial modeling areas.
And for anyone in fintech, yeah, it's a wake-up call. You can see this being integrated across Ant's whole ecosystem, automating things like risk modeling within Alipay.
But they didn't keep it locked down.
No, and that's fascinating. They released Ling-1T publicly. Open source. It really highlights this trend, especially among large Chinese firms. Democratize access, build an ecosystem, maybe reduce reliance on Western AI providers. It's accelerating the whole field through distribution.
That theme, powerful distribution, takes us right to the next topic, which honestly sounds almost like science fiction. We're going from trillion parameter models to, well, the laptop on your desk. Quantum dynamic simulations usually need massive supercomputers, right? Huge clusters.
Traditionally, yes, absolutely. That massive capital barrier, though, it seems to be crumbling. A research team at the University of Buffalo figured out how to run these incredibly complex quantum simulations efficiently on just a standard consumer laptop.
How is that even possible, computationally speaking?
Well, they didn't invent new hardware. They optimized the math brilliantly. They took a method called the truncated Wigner approximation, TWA. It's powerful, but historically very computationally heavy. They rebuilt its framework.
So, like finding a mathematical shortcut.
Kind of. Imagine the old way needed you to calculate everything in real time. The new way translates these dense quantum equations into essentially a compact conversion table, a lookup table. You reference the complexity without recalculating it constantly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the result. Computational cost drops dramatically. We're talking hours on a decent laptop versus days or weeks on a supercomputer cluster. And they didn't just publish the theory. They released ready-to-run code, openly available.
This isn't just a neat academic trick, then. It's a major operational shift for research and development.
Yeah.
R&D teams, university researchers, they can now run these complex quantum simulations on hardware they probably already have.
Exactly. It accelerates discovery in quantum materials, spintronics,
Yeah.
using electron spin for data storage. It removes a huge bottleneck. You can prototype quantum-enabled products like maybe next-gen sensors much faster and cheaper without needing that massive infrastructure investment.
It's just, wow, democratizing serious scientific computing power.
Truly.
Okay, so connecting that theme of efficiency and accessibility, let's look at the user experience side with Perplexity's new browser, Comet. This feels like a different way of thinking about browsing.
It really is a philosophical shift.
Yeah.
We've been stuck with the URL bar and search query model for, 30 years? Navigation-centric, Comet basically throws that out. It replaces the address bar with a natural language field. But the key part is persistent intent memory.
Persistent intent memory. What does that mean in practice?
It means the browser understands your overall goal for the entire session, not just the current search. You tell it, I need to plan a weekend trip to the mountains, budget under $500, and it keeps that goal in mind as you browse.
So it's less passive, more like a project manager working alongside you.
Precisely. And that enables features like cross-site synthesis. If you have, say, 3 different hotel booking sites open, Comet can look across them, find patterns, summarize options, maybe even proactively give you price comparisons in a sidebar.
That proactive part sounds really different. They talk about a shift from navigation-centric to intention-centric. And this idea of distributed AI collaboration, what's that about?
Yeah, the collaboration is key. A traditional browser is sort of isolated. Comet is designed to look for chances to delegate tasks or pull info from other specialized agents running in your digital environment. Maybe it sees flight details in an open Gmail tab and uses that info for your trip planning without needing a specific brittle API connection for every single service. It coordinates.
And this delegation trust index metric they mention.
Right. That measures how often you, the user, successfully rely on the AI to handle a complex task that would normally take multiple manual steps. It's about task completion success, not just clicks or page views. If the AI nails your intent, say 70% of the time, you quickly learn to trust it and just state what you want.
So companies need to think less about keeping you clicking on their site and more about how their service plays nicely in this distributed AI ecosystem, making themselves trustworthy for delegation.
Exactly. The whole game shifts from optimizing clicks to reliably fulfilling user intent. That's the future they're betting on.
Okay. Let's shift gears slightly now. We'll slow the pace just a touch for our Everything Else in AI and Sciences segment. Some really compelling, diverse breakthroughs here.
First up, something from space. Comet 3 Atlas. It's technically an alien object from outside our solar system.
No.
NASA spotted a strong water signature coming off it. It was blasting out water vapor at about 88 pounds per second.
Okay, comets have water, but what's the big deal here?
It's where and when it was doing it. It was 3 times farther from the sun than Earth is. Much earlier and farther out than our models predict comets should become this active. It challenges our understanding of how comets work, how heat interacts with their internal ice.
And suggests the building blocks for life's chemistry might be more active further out than we thought.
Potentially, yes. It hints that these ingredients aren't just common, but maybe more volatile under different conditions.
Interesting. Okay, back on Earth, in the lab. An accidental discovery.
Yeah, sometimes the best stuff happens by accident.
Huh.
Scientists tinkering with LiDAR tech stumbled onto a new chip design. They're calling it the rainbow chip. It does something pretty remarkable. Takes a single laser beam input and transforms it into dozens of powerful, distinct light channels.
All on one tiny silicon chip with lab-grade precision.
Exactly. The big implication here is for data centers. They currently use massive racks of individual lasers for fiber optic communication. This tiny chip could potentially replace huge chunks of that infrastructure.
Meaning drastically lower costs, less energy consumption, but also faster internet speeds and smaller hardware.
That's the potential, yes.
Yeah.
A huge leap in efficiency for data transfer.
Yep.
Greener, faster, cheaper.
And one more breakthrough, this one in medicine, 3D printed lungs. And we're not talking plastic models.
No, not at all. These are printed using bioinks that actually contain living human lung cells. The key is that these printed lung models seem to mimic the structure and, importantly, the behavior of real human lungs much more accurately than the animal models often used for testing drugs.
So better testing for therapies targeting lung diseases like TB or COVID-19 because the model is closer to us.
That's the hope. More accurate preclinical testing could mean a higher chance of success when therapies move to human trials, more personalized medicine down the line. And some researchers are even looking further ahead, suggesting these could, one day, maybe become alternatives for transplants, though that's still quite far off.
Incredible potential there. Okay, let's wrap up with a quick look at some trending AI tools that show where the market's putting energy right now. Rapid fire.
All right. First, Caesr AI. The focus here is actual control over existing apps, web, desktop, mobile, like really driving them.
Okay, next.
C1 by Thesis. This one's unique. It lets AI apps respond not just with text, but with interactive user interfaces that change in real time based on the conversation. Dynamic UI.
Interesting. What else?
Every day. This aims for pure utility. Getting tasks done across different apps using just plain English commands. Simplifying workflows.
Makes sense for the creative side.
CrePal.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as an AI director. You give it a prompt, and it creates short, cohesive movies, handling complex scenes.
And lastly,
Integrity. This positions itself as a unified project brain. It integrates your documents, collaborative canvases, and AI chat features all into one workspace for knowledge workers.
got it. So bringing this all together, from Ant Group's trillion parameter model going open source, making that power accessible, to running complex quantum physics simulations on a regular laptop.
The overarching theme is pretty stark, isn't it? Absolutely. It's the rapid, almost aggressive democratization of previously exclusive high-end technology. Things that needed massive resources are suddenly becoming widely available.
Which suggests a fundamental shift in strategy, maybe.
I think so. For years, the advantage was access to massive computing power, expensive labs, specialized data. But as that access becomes cheaper and more distributed, the real strategic advantage seems to be shifting. It's moving towards mastery of distribution and application.
So it's less about having the power and more about who can figure out how to use this newly accessible power fastest and most effectively to solve actual problems.
Exactly. The bottleneck isn't the machine anymore. Maybe it's our imagination and execution in applying it.
A profound thought to end on. The bottleneck is the mind. If you found this deep dive valuable today, please do follow the AI brief.
And share this with others you think would want to stay informed quickly and thoroughly.
Thanks for tuning in.